Maharaj. Hearty welcome to Jnanarjane, Empowering Excellence. Friends, today we have a very interesting session on investment awareness. Investment awareness service is most important, which is taken up by ICAI to educate the general public through chartered accountants. I think this is a more of a train the trainer program kind of a thing. Once we know, definitely we are able to communicate to our clients, our known circle where the people are looking for this kind of service. The awareness about investment, particularly the mutual funds and various other investment tools, the awareness is very low. So in that regard, ICI taken up this investment awareness program, and it is mandatorily conducted in all the branch across India. And this is the Bangalore term, and Bangalore has conducted several programs so far. This is one such program today. Again, 2 hours of learning. In this program today, we are really fortunate to have an eminent speaker. He has volume of experience in this program, and he has conducted more than 600 investment awareness program, more than 300 webinars, and touched more than a lakh of investors and potential investors. That is none other than Suryakant Sharma. Mr. Suryakant Sharma is a commerce graduate and masters in law with specialization in corporate law. He is also chartered associate member of Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. He has more than 35 years of experience in banking and finance and securities market and served in leading financial institutions. Thereafter, Department of Financial Services, Ministry of Finance, Government of India, and finally in SEBI. Ms. Sharma joined Security and Exchange Board of India, that is SEBI, in 2003 and served more than 15 years in different departments of SEBI. Lastly, in addition to other assignment, he was DGM in charge of Office of Investment Awareness and Education in SEBI's northern region for more than 5 years. Sri Sharma is also a member of working group of NCERT for developing occasional course on mutual funds for students of 11th and 12th classes. Sri Sharma also a mentor of a few NGOs working for financial literacy and investor awareness in the country. Under his supervision, more than 15,000 financial literacy and investment awareness programs were conducted across northern India, and he himself has addressed as a guest lecturer in more than 600 investor awareness programs. After superannuation from SEBI in 2019, he has joined Association of Mutual Funds in India, that is AMFI, an apex body of mutual funds in India, as senior consultant for spreading financial literacy and investor awareness among us citizens. Since May 2020, Sri Sharma has interacted with more than a lakh investors and potential investors through more than 300 webinars in reputed government organizations, educational, financial institutions, corporates, startups, NGOs, and other across country. What a fantastic profile Mr. Sharma has, and he has so much of experience as investor awareness catalyst. So on behalf of Bangalore branch and on behalf of all the participants here, hearty welcome to Mr. Sharma. Hearty welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Friends, the participants, you are the reason for this program. Hearty welcome to each one of you. We have many other programs lined up in this month and coming months. I request all the participants, please visit bangaloreici.org and look into those programs and please register. Your participation is an encouragement for all of us to conduct more and more programs. Today's program is very interesting, as I already mentioned. This investor awareness program to enlighten us, Suryakant Sharma is there. Once again, hearty welcome to Mr. Sharma. Over to you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Mr. Shetty. Thank you very much for kind words. Honestly speaking, I am a student. I want to learn more from you than what I am today. I have grown up learning from people like you. And chartered accountants, whether you agree with me or not, are the torchbearer as far as money is concerned for the general citizen, for the common citizen. So I salute you to your profession. And I don't know whether you know your importance in the society, but sometimes, like Hanumana, who has to remind about his powers, I am just here to remind your power, immense power you have got as far as the influencing the general public is concerned. Because people will listen to you, people will come to you, they will definitely get guidance from you, and whatever you say are in fact golden words for them as far as money is concerned, because they know you are the masters of finance. So it is my privilege to be with you today. And very honestly speaking, I this is more than 45th or 46th program ICICI with ICICI I have done across country. And during all my programs, I have learned from you. So again, I repeat, I am a student. I will learn from you, from your experience, from your caliber, and from your profession as well. Today, and very honestly speaking, the program is generally called as investor awareness program, but at time we keep laughing at it because you are already informed. You are one of the best investors in the world because you know much
That is the
about the
reason I have mentioned it is not an investor awareness program. This is train the trainer program.
Great, sir.
Basically, to
Okay.
understand what this mutual fund, how exactly it works, and in return they can spread, because we have to read so many things. Sometimes we are not able to concentrate on all these things. That is the reason. So from the expert, if we learn quickly, we can grasp and take it to the people who are looking for that. That is the
Very.
idea. ICI made it and mandatory to all the branches to conduct this. That is
Thank
how
you.
we conduct, and the participants learn from this and they spread across.
Very right. So nice of you, sir. So nice of you. So, mutual fund is the topic given today to talk on. But before talking on the mutual funds, of course, you are chartered accountants, you know there might be even wastage of time. But just for repetition, I will say that what is the need for mutual fund and what is the need for investment as such? Why we invest? Or rather, why we save at the first stage? We should first understand why we save. Why we sacrifice a lot of things today for tomorrow. We don't enjoy our money which we are earning today. Just we are putting for tomorrow. Why? Why it is so? Because, Sir Shetty, sir, you will agree with me that we Indians have a typical society. We have got a lot of things to do in life, which normally Europeans or Americans don't think of. We have a family, we have to see our family, our children to grow, they get education, and again their marriage age, and then for retirement. All these things are always in our mind. And general public feels that the income which we will be having in future might not be sufficient or commensurate with our requirement and desires or needs, even whatever you say. That is why today we save. We take some money away from our income and put in some investment mode. That is why we are investors. And investors, Shetty sir, you will agree with me, have got a lot of options. Mutual fund is only one of them. I just want to tell you. And top of it, I am not here to promote or advertise the mutual funds here. I will just be very brief about the basics of the mutual fund, and I will talk in a very simple and lucid manner. I will not make it a complicated topic or a research paper like session today. I will talk very straightway from my heart of and try to be as simple as I can. So as far as mutual fund is concerned, mutual fund is nothing but we are giving our savings to some experts or to second person using. We are not investing it directly. That option we always had. And of course, you being chartered accountant, one of the finest minds in India about the finance is concerned, you can directly invest into the security market. Definitely that option is always with you. But mutual fund is rather more focused on the category of investors, Shetty sir, who don't have knowledge and time. The first thing about the security market is knowledge. And second is it requires your time as well. You might have knowledge, but you might don't have time even to look at the investment, your portfolio on a daily or regularly. So mutual fund gives you a facility that even without having knowledge, or even when you don't have knowledge but don't have time, you can give your money to the experts. Now definitely the question will arise, why we should give, sir? Answer I have just given, because either we don't have knowledge, or even have knowledge but don't have time to manage our portfolio, all this thing. That is why we are giving our savings to the experts. Why we call them experts? Because, sir, they have got knowledge of the market. They have got experience of the 20 year, 25 year, 30 year down the line. They are in the same profession. They know the intricacies of the how market functions. They
Sir,
know
it
intricacies.
is a full-time job, sir. It is not a part-time one. Specialization is required.
Absolutely, sir. That's why
Even though chartered accountants able to understand, if he is doing full-time, that is, then yes, he can be expert and he can able to provide service to others.
yes,
Otherwise, it's not possible. It's a full-time job.
yes, and they are doing. Lot of chartered accountants are.
Yeah,
You might know. You might be aware.
yeah.
Lot of chartered accountants are actively guiding
Yeah.
people to invest in mutual funds.
Good number of these financial service companies
Right.
are
Yeah,
owned by
absolutely.
chartered accountants or
Chartered
managed by them.
Very right, sir. Absolutely right, sir. So we are giving our money to the experts because they have got experience, they have got domain knowledge, they live in the market 24 hours, sir, which we don't. They breathe in and breathe out in the market itself. That is why they are better equipped to know about the intricacies of the market. How the market, of course, sir, Shetty sir, you will agree with me that nobody in the world is the expert on share market. Nobody can't be. Nobody can do. No, even if a person says after 50 years of experience that I am an expert, everybody can have doubt. Because market is totally unpredictable. But at the same time, market has some patterns over a period of time. How market functions, that broad pattern is there. That these people know relatively better than a common man. That is why I am terming them there as an expert. So we are giving our money to the experts to invest with the sole purpose of generating maximum return for me. Sir, it is not a social service, kindly minded. First, we should understand that it is not a social service, that they are giving some. No, it is not. They are also earning their livelihood out of it, or rather handsomely. But at the same time, they are investing our money to the best of their application of their mind and experience in investment decisions. That is why we give our money to them. One misconception about mutual fund, Shetty sir, is that mutual fund is a part of security market. Yes, it is. But mutual fund is beyond security market as well, sir. That at least young chartered accountant must know that mutual fund is not confined only to security market. Because, sir, Shetty sir, there are schemes in the mutual fund which will invest your money in government securities or infrastructure projects. There are schemes in the mutual fund which will invest your money in properties, real estate. There are schemes in the mutual fund which will invest your money in gold. There are schemes in the mutual fund which will invest your money in commodity market even. Commodity market mutual fund are also just started. Then there are some schemes in the mutual fund, Shetty sir, who will invest your money in international corporates, big names, Amazon, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Apple. Because young people have flair. I should also have a part of the Google. How they are flourishing. Can you, sir, are you aware? Of course, most of young people might be aware. A chartered accountant must be aware. Apple market capitalization is going to touch $3 trillion. More than Indian GDP, sir. Can you imagine the magnitude and the monolith they have developed? Microsoft, Google, and Amazon, they are already crossed too. But Apple is far ahead of them even. So such monolith. So now people, particularly young investors, want to get a pie out of there. Naturally, it is very. So mutual fund also give you opportunity. Sitting at Bangalore, you can be a part of the growth story of Amazon or Google or Facebook. You can also be a part of the story. You can also enjoy the fruits of Apple results performance. So mutual fund is not confined to share market, but beyond share market as well. But of course, majority or rather vast majority of the mutual fund scheme relate to share market only. Majority of them. And mutual fund, why mutual funds are flourishing at least during 3, 4, 5 years? Because sir, last 5 years has shown phenomenal growth in mutual fund. Shetty sir, you might not have heard before 5, 7 years about the mutual fund much. But now every person who I am talking to, maybe a small vendor even, maybe a young IT fellow who has not even started working, they all want to know about the mutual fund. Because last 5, 6 years has seen a phenomenal growth in mutual fund. 5, 7 lakhs corpus has become literally touching 40 lakhs crore, sir. And next 5 years, it might cross in all probability 1 crore lakh rupees. That why? Only because of the interest being shown by the general investors. So mutual fund has of late been a flair for the general middle class, salary class person as well, including professionals like you. In mutual fund, as I just said, we simply give our money to the fund managers to deploy our money as per contour and object of the scheme in which I am investing. First, we should understand that the fund manager can't go beyond the dictate or the object of the scheme. He has to confine his activities or investment decision strictly as per the object and purposes of the scheme. So he can invest, but that is within the 4 walls of the objects and purposes of that scheme. In mutual funds, sir, there are two types of mutual fund categories of schemes are available. But before that, what I want, why, Shetty sir, why people are now become more and more interested about mutual fund is because mutual fund is catering to the needs of all categories of investors. If you want to invest for 1 week, sir, there is a scheme in mutual fund called liquid fund. If you want to invest for up to 3 months, ultra short-term debt funds are there. If you want to invest up to 6 months or 1 year, short-term debt funds are there. If you want to invest more than between 3 to 5 years, medium-term debt funds are there. If you want to invest beyond 3 or 5 years, normal debt funds, long-term debt funds are there. Likewise, sir, in mutual fund, there are schemes which has got least risk, where your money will be invested in government securities only. But in mutual fund, Shetty sir, there are schemes which have relatively moderate risk, high risk, and even highest risk. So for all categories of investors, according to their risk appetite, as well as time horizon of investment, mutual fund schemes are available. So an investor must first understand about his risk appetite and time horizon of investment. Because unless and until you are clear about your risk appetite and time horizon of investment, those schemes are available, but you may not be able to select a good scheme. So first you should be clear what is your purpose of investing into mutual fund and how much risk you want to take. And Shetty sir, you are well aware that risk reward ratio is proportionate, always proportionate. More risk, more reward. But more risk doesn't mean more reward. Probability of getting higher return. Probability of higher return is there, but it will 100% not sure that you will 100% get return. That is why more risk, more reward theory broadly applies when people, particularly for young people, those who can take a risk and those who have got longer horizon of investment. So as far as this scheme, the mutual fund is concerned, mutual fund in mutual fund you can invest in two forms. One is direct plan and other one is regular plan. In direct plan, Shetty sir, you simply visit the website of the mutual fund company, which is technically called AMC, Asset Management Company. Select the scheme, give the information online, give your documents, attach your bank details, and you are invested online. But here again, selection of the scheme, my dear participant, is the crux of your success in mutual fund. And how you can select the scheme, sir? The best and easiest way for to select the scheme, as I just told, first understand your risk appetite and time horizon of investment. Then visit the fact sheet of the scheme. Every scheme has a fact sheet. When you open a scheme, fact sheet will come first. And fact sheet, Shetty sir, is a Bible of that scheme. All such information are mandatorily given in fact sheet of that scheme. When what is the purpose of the scheme, when it was launched, who is the fund manager, what is the risk in that what has been its historical performance, if it has been an old scheme, all these things and all other related, what the name of the fund manager, what experience he has got, what performance he has been so far. All these schemes are invariably as per SEBI mandate required to be given in the fact sheet. So I keep telling my young investors, kindly read fact sheet minimum 10 times before you take a decision. Each and every sentence of the fact sheet must be read and understood. Only after you take a decision. So additionally, SEBI has done a very good thing from January 2021 onwards, sir. That now SEBI has attached a riskometer with each scheme. When you open a scheme, riskometer will come up front, and that riskometer will give you a broad idea about the risk in that scheme. If the needle of the scheme of the riskometer tilting towards left in the scheme, which shows that it has lowest risk. But when it is in the middle, it shows that it has got high risk. And when the needle tilts towards right, it has got extremely high risk. So riskometer gives you a broad idea how much risk is in the scheme, and you can judge your risk appetite commensurate with the risk of that scheme, and you take a decision. So riskometer has been an additional tool to take your decision to invest in particularly mutual fund scheme. Then if you are not able to go for direct plan, which I just mentioned, online plan, then other options is also available for you, that is regular plan. In regular plan, Shetty sir, as you just mentioned, there are a lot of chartered accountants are also in this business. In regular plan, you need to take the help of mutual fund distributors, duly registered with AMFI. SEBI has given the task of registering mutual fund distributor to AMFI. AMFI registered all mutual fund distributors. So AMFI, the first stage regulator for mutual fund distributors in India, as delegated by SEBI. Of course, when you approach some mutual fund distributor, they will come to you, they will give you application form, they will help you out in filling the form, they will take documents from you, they will take check from you, they will go and deposit your check and papers with the mutual fund company, and your investments are made operational. But one thing here, of course, you being chartered accountant, all are well aware. But to general public, I always keep telling, never, never, never take the advice of the mutual fund distributor as far as scheme selection is concerned. Because there have been instances, Shetty sir, where some distributor have advised the scheme which was not suitable for a particular investor, according to his or her risk appetite or time horizon of investment. But since they might be getting little bit more commission out of that scheme, they suggested that scheme which was not suitable. So kindly don't take advice from the mutual fund distributor. As a general, I am telling you, of course, if he's your friend, if he's your well-wisher indeed, then definitely you can take his advice. But generally speaking, don't take the advice from the mutual fund distributor as far as the selection of the scheme is concerned. So in regular plan, Shetty sir, return will always be relatively lesser as compared to direct plan. Why? Because definitely the person who is coming to you, helping you out in filling the form, taking documents from you, putting your paper to the AMC, making your investment operational, definitely he or she will get some commission or fee. And that fee or commission will go out of your return or your investment. That is why in regular plan, return will relatively be lower as compared to direct plan. So try to go with direct plan, but because of any reason, if you are not able to, start with regular plan even. But now there is a facility, Shetty sir, you might be aware that there is a facility now that you can switch from regular plan to direct plan after some period of time. That facility has now also been now made available by SEBI to the general investors. So mutual fund has got two broad categories. As far as security market investment is concerned, mutual fund has got two broad categories. One is equity funds, other is debt fund. And of course, third category is also there, that is hybrid funds. Clubbing of both the equity fund and debt funds. But broadly, equity fund and debt fund. In equity fund, investors should be aware that their money will be invested into the equities of the corporates. And Shetty sir, we all know that market always goes up and down. That is the basic characteristic of the market, that market will always go up and down. And nobody can honestly track the movement of the market in an efficient manner. Nobody can. Nobody is an expert in the world who can say that tomorrow market will be at what level, or after 1 year, after 5 years, after 10 years. There are a lot of experts who are talking about the market movement, but very honestly speaking, nobody can give you a precise idea, at least a correct idea, that where the market will move in the years to come. So in equity, when your money is invested into the equity, and prices of the equity shares definitely go up and down every day. So the risks in equity funds are relatively higher. Kindly understand this. The risk in equity funds are relatively higher, but the reward probability is also relatively higher. That is why those who can take some risk and have longer horizon of investment, that is minimum 5 years, equity funds are, I feel personally, the best bet for them. They should invest, and particularly for young investors who just started their career, or rather even below 40, they should think majority of their investment in mutual fund ought to be in equity fund, at least for the next 10-15 years to come. Because historically, mutual fund equity schemes have given best results. Forget about last 1 year, 2 year results. That may be an exception, plus minus, I'm not saying. But on an average, last 10 years, most of the equity funds, Shetty sir, has given around 15 to 20% return, which is not a bad return when you compare to returns in other categories. Because you might be aware, sir, Governmental securities has given hardly 7.5 to 8.5% during last 10-15 years. Gold has given 6.5 to 7.5. Even property has not given much result during last 5 years or 10 years. Average out, it is almost 7.5% to 8% only. But security market as such has given more than 15% average return, and that is tax efficient also. Of late, some tax has been imposed, but earlier it was tax free rather. So mutual funds, equity funds has given relatively higher return, but of course, number two things must be clear in our minds. First, there is no guarantee of any return. If anybody tells you about the guaranteed return, I feel he's not true. He's befooling me at least, because nobody can give you guarantee that how much return you will get, or in next 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. Of course, things are rising. We have a booming economy. People are saying that market will go after 20. Shetty Saab, I don't know whether you will agree with me or not, but most of the experts say that next 25 years are going to be golden period of the Indian economy. And for those for whom it will be golden period, sir, not for those who just clap and go to a stadium play. Only for the players, only for the investors, it is going to be golden period. That is why I keep telling you, my all young investors particularly, you start investing, maybe in a small amount, but you start investing and continue investing it. So equity fund has potentiality of higher return but greater risk. Those who can't take risk, kindly don't enter into the domain of equity funds investments. There are a lot of categories in equity fund. The topmost is large cap equity funds. Means, as by name it suggests, your money will be invested into the large corporates whose market capitalization is more than 40,000 crores of rupees. Then second category is mid cap, where mid-sized corporates, those who are not big but not small, and between 40 to 17. These are mid-sized corporates where you can invest your money. Then small cap equity funds are there, where your money will be invested into the small corporate which have just entered into the market, just issued their IPOs. They have not proven their worth, because they have recent entrant in the security market. They are very relatively market capitalization also very small, but has got potential to grow. And Shetty sir, we all know when TCS started, when Infosys started, who knew these corporates? They are big names today. But can you even imagine when Infosys share came, IPO came in 1995 in the first time, there were hardly takers of the shares of the Infosys. 10 rupees share at par was issued to the public, and hardly it was subscribed. Because, of course, naturally, the company was very new. They were started by technocrats like the great Mr. Narayana Murthy and their colleagues. But they were new. Company was new. But today it is one of the best corporate in the world as far as IT sector is concerned. So large cap, mid cap, small cap. Then fourth category in equity fund are multi cap. In multi cap, a proportionate of your savings will be invested into large cap, proportionate in mid cap, and proportionate in small cap. Proportionate are well and predefined. You are well aware how much percentage of your money will be invested, or total corpus will be invested into large cap, mid cap, and small cap. Then a new category has recently been added by SEBI, that is flexi cap. In flexi cap, mutual fund managers have been given maneuverability. They can maneuver from large cap to mid cap to small cap as per their wisdom. Suppose they say that next 6 months are going to be the large cap, for the large cap, then they may shift majority of their investment from other categories to large cap. Then after 6 months, suppose they see now the mid cap is going to have a good day, then they can shift some of their corpus from large cap to mid cap. So the fund managers have got flexibility. They have got maneuverability. They can maneuver their investment as per their forecast or as per their wisdom. Then there are also sectoral funds, pharma, IT, lot of other sectors are there, infrastructure. If you have a flair, because people, individuals are different. Some say pharma is booming, I want to be a part of the pharma story. Of course, last 2-3 years, we all know pharma has a golden period because of the pandemic. Likewise, next 10 years, people say infrastructure is going to be one of the best booming sector. So that specific sectors are, that thematic funds are also there. So lot of categories in equity funds are there. You can choose according to your risk appetite and according to your time horizon of it. That is equally important. Then second category of the in mutual fund in the security market is debt funds. Your participant must be knowing, in debt funds, as the name goes, your money will be given as a loan to the corporates. It will not be invested into the equity of the corporate. Difference is very clear. In equity, your money will be invested into the equity shares of the listed corporates. But in debt fund, your money will be given as a loan to the corporates. And Shetty sir, you are aware that when money is given as a loan to the corporate, definitely you might not be getting extraordinary return, because return rate of interest is pre-decided, mostly pre-decided. But the risk is relatively lesser. Risk is relatively lesser. So if you don't want to take high risk, if you are satisfied with the reasonable return, then debt fund is the best bet for you. If you are above 50, because above 50, above 55, naturally our mind changes. We don't want to take a risk. But if you are in 30s and if you don't take risk, then I think you are lacking somewhere. You must take risk. I say those who are young, below 40, must take risk, because they have got a longer horizon of 15, 20, 25 years. If they commit some mistake, okay, let it be. We will correct our mistake. But those who are already crossed 55 or 60, they don't have time to correct their mistakes. That is why they should not invest largely in equity funds. But some exposure to equity funds, maybe 10%, maybe 5%, or max 15%, I think is still reasonable even for senior citizens. Because equity fund only will create wealth for you. And sir, mind it, you all, accountants, I need not to elaborate here. Return simply means not notional return. Return simply means notional return minus inflation minus tax liability. That is your real return. And unless and until, I keep telling in my sessions to all the general participants, that unless and until you earn some real return on your investment, what for you are saving and investing? What for? Then you are sheer accumulating your money. You are not creating wealth. Because wealth definitely will be created only by real return. So young investors should definitely focus on the real return. But a senior citizen or a person of above 50, 55, they should forget about the maximum return, because they can compromise on the quality of the return, because they can't compromise on the safety of the money, which they have accumulated over a period of time. That is why debt fund is a different category and will cater mostly to needs of the people who don't want to take much risk and are satisfied with the reasonable return, with relatively lesser risk. In debt fund, there are a lot of subcategories, sir. The most common category is liquid fund or overnight funds. And liquid funds, and it's nowadays, sir, I don't know whether Shetty sir, you might have heard about it or not, but particularly young investors, they have started a new habit nowadays. They regularly invest in liquid fund when they get their salary on first. They invest because when they earn money or when they earn income on first, suppose they get salary, what they normally do nowadays, they simply transfer their salary from their bank account, SB account, to liquid fund. Why they should do it? There are two purposes, sir, and there are two benefits. One is, in SB account, they are normally earning hardly 2.5% return. In liquid fund, still today, sir, Shetty Saab, you are all aware that liquidity is peak nowadays in economy. But still today, they can earn more than 3.5% to 3.75% return per day, every day, I'm telling you. So it is a difference of more than 1% interest. Why we should not avail that facility? And top of it, in liquid fund, money is as liquid as in your bank account. Because suppose, and now liquid fund can be money can be transferred only through app only. No need to go to somewhere. Just download app of some AMC. Suppose a person is earning 50,000 a month, and he transfer 50,000 on first from their salary account to the liquid fund. In liquid fund, right from day one, he has started earning 3.5% or more return. Firstly. Secondly, suppose on 5th, he wants some money, 5,000, take it 5,000 for some family expenses. Go to the app, put 5,000, click withdraw button, 5,000 will instantly be transferred in your bank account. Again, on 10th, you want some money, 10,000, go to the app, put 10,000 and click withdraw button, 10,000 will transfer to your bank. So, money is available to you at all time, 24 hours. But you are earning relatively higher rate of interest as compared to SB account. The only limitation in liquid fund, Shetty Saab, is a person can't withdraw more than 50,000 a day. That limitation must be kept in mind, that he can't withdraw more than 50,000 on a single day. But so liquid fund are a better way of managing your short-term cash. It is a better cash management and getting relatively earning more interest there as compared to SB account. Then ultra short-term debt funds are there, where your money will be given as a loan for hardly for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. Suppose you have a EMI to pay after 3 months. Why you keep your money in SB account? You invest in ultra short-term debt fund. You will be getting more than around 4.4 and 4.5% interest as compared to 2.5%. After 3 years, you withdraw your money, pay the EMI, and you earn the better return on your short-term investment. Then short-term debt funds are there, where you can invest your short-term money for 6 months to 1 year. Then 1 year to 3 year medium-term debt funds are there. Then above 3 years, normal debt funds are also there. Then in debt fund itself, Shetty sir, there are categories where your money will be invested into corporates according to their credit rating. And I keep telling my particularly senior citizens or a person who are above 55, don't put your money into debt fund which are investing your money in below B or B minus category corporates, because definitely you will get higher return, but the risk of default or irregular payment is there. So always try to invest in the debt fund which is investing your money into AAA rating companies. Return will definitely be lower as compared to those. The same thing happened in Franklin, sir. There might be a question from your side, from participant side, about the Franklin issue. The issue was very simple. Franklin was investing giving your money as a loan to the B rating or even below rating corporates. Had there not been pandemic, things would have been gone as usual. Because in that category, Shetty sir, people were earning 12%, 13%, 14% return, and people were very happy. That is why more and more money was coming into debt fund. Because of pandemic, production failed, production stopped. The company whose rating was not good wouldn't repay it, wouldn't give the loan money back or even pay the interest. That is why the ballooning of default and all these things happened. But had you invested in AAA rating companies, return definitely would have been lower as compared to that first category, but your money will have been relatively safer. So this is up to you to decide. Then in debt fund beyond 3 years, if you continue investing, then you also get the benefit of indexation. You are chartered accountants, you know much about the indexation. I need not elaborate, but I keep elaborating when to the general investors. So indexation benefit is a very good and unique benefit to the investors. So in that fund category, risk is lower, but return is also reasonable, not extraordinary return. So it is you to decide. Now, SEBI has started one new thing very recently, that is Mutual Fund Central. It is a website which had developed Mutual Fund Central, in which you can own your own, change the bank details, nomination, lot of things you can do. Only once you have to register with the Mutual Fund Center only once, then you can do lot of things on your own. You need not getting help from the others. So, and down the line, after 2-3 years, SEBI is planning that you can invest your money through Mutual Fund Central also. That the process is in pipeline. After 1 or 2 years, that might also happen. So, lot of things are happening in the mutual fund sphere. Now, as far as mutual fund investment is concerned, sir, the magic of mutual fund is SIP, Systematic Investment Plan. That is real magic. That we must understand, and particularly your young chartered accountants. SIP is nothing but a recurring account. It is just a recurring account we open with a bank or post office. We are committing ourselves to a regular investment. Say minimum is 500, maximum no limit. And more we continue to invest through SIP.
I have a question here, sir. Shall I ask or shall we keep it at the end?
Better if you kindly permit me to complete it, then
This
definitely.
SIP you are told, so for my information for the viewers, this SIP currently it is only monthly interval, no?
No, sir, no. It can be fortnightly, it can be quarterly, it can be yearly even.
No, fortnightly and weekly also there?
Yeah, definitely it is there.
Uh-huh.
That choice it lies with you.
But normally I'm seeing on online it is available monthly only they are talking about.
You are saying normally it is okay, but 100% it is available. If you talk to them, definitely that option is available. Weekly, fortnightly, monthly, quarterly, half yearly even. That is there.
Quarterly, half yearly, yearly I am aware, and monthly also, but this weekly thing it is not available online, I think.
It is available. If you tell me a particular scheme, then I will take it by with them why it is not there. But as per SEBI mandate, it has to be there.
It should be weekly and fortnightly should be there.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely.
I have not gone through. Maybe I have not gone through in detail.
You let me know any particular scheme. You let me know any particular scheme, then we can take it up. So SIP is a magic, sir, for the middle class, salary, even for professionals. And because SIP will give you a automatic way of balancing your investment. Because, sir, as we all know, market will always go up and down. Today market is down, yesterday it was up. Again, tomorrow market may go down. That is the basic characteristics of market. But through SIP, you can broadly make up the risk, because when market is up, you will get lesser unit. When market is down, you will get the higher units. So over a period of time, automatic balancing will be there. So SIP is the best way of investment for middle class, salary class person, even for professionals. And SIP has done wonders, sir. I just give you one example. Of course, I will not name the scheme, but otherwise it will be unfair on my part to give to propagate or market that scheme. But fact, I am telling you, in person, I can tell you the name also. One mutual fund started an equity scheme in 1995, sir. My dear participant, note down the dates very carefully. One equity fund was started by the mutual fund company in 1995. And a smart investor like Shetty sir started an SIP of 10,000 per month. And from 1995 onwards, regularly he has been investing 10,000 every month through SIP in that scheme. Can you just imagine, sir, what the accumulation has been today of that SIP? 9.57 crore. That's the magic of SIP. But 2-3 things come out of it. Kindly understand, those things are very important. First is, never stop your SIP when market goes down. Generally people what happen, अरे market, अरे बाबा छोड़ो ना सर, इस market गिर रहा है, हम तो SIP क्यों करें? They stop their SIP. Never do it. Rather put more money if you can. Rather you put more money if you can. Never stop your SIP. And additionally, top-up facility in SIP is also available now, sir. Automatic top-up facility. Suppose today you are starting SIP with 5,000. Today itself, you can give a mandate that after 1 year, 5,000 should be 6,000. After 2 years, it should be 7,000. Automatically, it will keep increasing. So that top-up facility is also available. So kindly use the top-up facility when your income increases. Because over a period of time, SIP is definitely going to be a very good handy tool for you to manage your affairs, finances. And I know, Shetty sir, lot of my friends, particularly young ones, have started more than one SIP. That is target-oriented SIP. They have a very clear idea about the target. Suppose somebody says that I'm not married, I'm likely to be married after 2 years. After 25 years, I want 4 crore rupees for the education of my children. Some people may even laugh at this stage. You are not still married and thinking about the higher education of children, but that is a wise thinking. You should start an SIP of 2,000 even today. Then after 25 years, 4 crore will be an easy target. I can still tell you, very easy. But if you don't start SIP today, from where you will get 4,000? 4 crore rupees. Likewise, retirement plan, Shetty sir. I keep telling my young participants particularly, nowadays we all know pension is not there, even in government pension is no more available. How people generally survive after when they get retired? They accumulate some money, put that money in some deposits or some investment, get regular return on which they survive. That is a normal course. So how much corpus they should develop for the retirement plan? I just keep telling giving a simple example. That suppose today your monthly expenses, a person is of age of 30 years, and suppose he says my monthly expenses are of the order of 30,000. Can you just imagine, sir, when he becomes 60 after 30 years, how much he will need every month for the same level of comfort? Not less than 2 lakh rupees per month. So if you multiply it by 12, that is yearly, it comes to around 25 lakhs. So how much retirement corpus you should have? A thumb rule is there. It should be minimum 20 times of your annual expenses. Minimum 20 times. 20 times simply means 25 lakhs multiplied by 20. Minimum 5 crore retirement corpus you should have if you are 30 today or at the age of 60. So these things are reality of our life. If we ignore at this stage, we will suffer. We will have a painful life afterwards. That is why starting investment at the early stage of their career is a must. Start as much as you can do, but whatever you can do, but start it. Don't keep deferring it. So SIP is the best thing we can do for our future planning and for our target oriented investing. Then second facility in mutual fund is STP, sir, systematic transfer plan. In STP, suppose Shetty sir, you get a bonus from one of your big client, 5 lakhs rupees. Now there are two options with you. You want to invest in mutual fund. There are two options. One option is simply put 5 lakhs in one scheme and forget. But other way around is you simply put that 5 lakhs not in the scheme which you want to invest. You first put it in the liquid fund. The first benefit will be that right from day one, you start earning 3.5% or 4% interest. Second benefit, what you can do, you can simply periodically keep transferring a small amount of that from that 5 lakh to the designated scheme where you want to invest. Say 25,000 fortnightly or 50,000 monthly. what will happen every month? 25,000 or 50, whatever you have decided will go to the designated scheme. So there also the automatic balancing will be there. Because suppose today market is up, you will get less unit. Next month market might go down, you get higher units. And here again you started earning interest of around 3.5% right from day one. So STP is a better proposition when you have one-time investment. Don't go in one go. Try to put your money in such a manner. First you put in liquid fund and then keep transferring some amount regularly from liquid fund to the designated scheme. And one unique facility, Shetty sir, is also available in mutual fund, which most of people even don't know even today. That is called SWP, Systematic Withdrawal Plan. That is opposite of SIP. In SIP, we are regularly investing some money. In SWP, we'll regularly withdraw some money. That is more suitable when we enter into the retirement life. When we enter the retirement life, the first thing happen to us is our regular income goes. We don't have regular income. That's really how we will survive. But if you have been prudent enough, if you have been smart enough to develop a good corpus, suppose you have developed a corpus of 5 crore rupees, and you are going to be 60 next month. You wouldn't be having regular income. What to do? You simply write a one line mail to the mutual fund manager. Kindly keep transferring 2 lakh rupees from my corpus to my bank account every month on 1st. They will religiously do, because that is your money only. They will religiously do it. So the first benefit will be that you will have 2 lakh rupees on the 1st of every month in your bank account. You can continue to live your life as you are living. At least the mental stress will not be there. Regular flow of money will be there. Second benefit will be, sir, your remaining amount with the mutual fund, that is 4 crore 98 lakhs for the first month, would continue to be invested, will continue to earn return on it. So if you withdraw around 5% of your corpus every year, and if you are getting return of 6 to 8%, even 6 to 7% even, in future also you can beat the inflation. So SWP, and it is tax efficient also, because in withdrawal tax will be applicable only on the return portion, not on the original, because there will be 2 segments of the withdrawal. One is principal which you withdraw, and other segment will be your return, and tax will be payable only on return portion. So that is tax efficient also. So SWP is a proposition where you can enjoy your life at the fag end of your career, but for that you have to be very cautious that you start working right from the day one about your retirement plan. So mutual fund is in such a manner that that gives you cushion and flexibility. And nowadays, even suppose you start an SIP and you miss a SIP for 1 month, nothing will happen. Okay, next year again automatically requisition from the AMC will come to you. It will not be discontinued for if you miss the SIP for 2 months, no problem. But if you miss for the 3rd time, then naturally it will be discontinued, and you have to recontinue it, and you have to make some paperwork for again starting it. So SIP is a better proposition, and nowadays, Shetty sir, you might be aware, SIP calculators are available on the websites. Suppose a person says that I will need 4 crore rupees for higher education of my children after 25 years. Then the target 4 crore is there, period 20 years are there. Simply put that in SIP calculator. SIP calculator will give you an idea how much SIP you should start right from today. So that is a scientific way of achieving targets through sustained investment. That is a scientific way of achieving a target in a more focused manner, and that you can do. And SIP, again, I again repeat it, is a magic for the middle class, salary class person, and even your students, those who are article clerks, they can start an SIP. for 500 rupees or 1000 rupees. After down the line, after 2-3 years, they will have the flair of how SIP works. Then they can start more SIPs as per their targets. So mutual fund is a very big subject. Otherwise, I wouldn't be having time to deal with all these subjects. But two things I wish to mention here again for mutual funds and for rather for investment, sir. Two things are very important in our life as far as investment is concerned and which obstruct our investment. First is greed. Greed always put you us in such a manner that we know that it is unreal, reasonable how they will give us, but still we put the money. When they are giving to others, we will also get it. So never go for greed. And second thing about investment is, sir, have patience. Have patience. Mutual fund, particularly SIP, give build your character to have patience. Because if you have patience, you will definitely get more than reasonable return over a period of time because of compounding. Compounding is the magic, sir. We all know compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. Eighth wonder. Even the greatest scientist ever, Einstein sir, has told us that compounding is the magic. And what is compounding in investment? Simply speaking, sir, just make a small promise with yourself. We will never touch the return portion for our consumption or for our celebration. We will simply clubbing it with our regular investment and reinvest it. If we do it for 15-20 years down the line, I can assure all the participants there will be a magic. You will be happily surprised to know that your return portion has become much greater than your original investment. But that will happen not today, not tomorrow. It will take time. It will take 15-20 years down the line. But those who are young have time on their side, sir. I might not have that much of luxury with me. But young people have got time. That is why I keep telling that. Be a long-term investor. Even in mutual fund, don't be, even for security market, don't be a security market trader. Purchase today in the first half, second half. No, that is not at least our cup of tea. Those who are professionals and those who are service class people, that is not our cup of tea. We should be a long-term investor. And security market has rewarded handsomely during last 35 years, sir. That is, sir, you might be aware that during last 35 years, security market has rewarded more than 15% average annual return, not regular return, average annual, which no other product has given. And that potentiality, I feel personally, is relatively much higher in the next year to come, next 25 years. Those who are young, who are within 30 or within 35, they have 25-30 years to go. And as I mentioned just now, I personally feel, I don't know whether you vouch with me or not, next 25 years are going to be golden period for Indian economy. But there are two categories of persons. One category of persons go to the stadium, eat popcorn, clap for the players and come home by paying tickets. Other category of persons is players who play inside the game, inside the ground. We have to be players. We have to be investors to get the fruits of the booming economy. Because if we don't invest, you will, at least you will not have privilege of getting that extra benefit which you might get from bank deposits or from other. That return will be there, but that will be most marginal and reasonable return. And those who are young must take risk. I again repeat here. Last thing, sir, two things I wish to request to, beyond mutual fund, I wish to request to all your participants. One is, there is a menace in our country which is called chit fund, Ponzi scheme and committees. And Shetty sir, your fraternity has got greater role to play in this sphere. Greater role to play. Why? Because people listen you. Whatever you speak for money, people will listen you. And Shetty sir, we all must have heard about CSR, corporate social responsibility. But sir, have you heard about ISR? Have you heard about ISR, sir? Individual social responsibility, sir. We also have got some social responsibility, sir. We are privileged. We are educated. Society has given so much to us. So we have got one social responsibility, individual social. That is, kindly keep educating people around you. Kindly keep educating people around you. Means your maid servant, because mostly those category people invest in such scheme. Your maid servant, your driver, your peon, your class 4 employee, your clerk, lot of your driver, taxi driver, electrician, plumber, small traders. Basically, they invest in Ponzi scheme and cheat funds. So kindly start a campaign. Kindly start a campaign and 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 make people aware that they should never invest their hard-earned money in such Ponzi scheme or cheat fund or like that thing. If you don't have any idea about the other schemes, then they should simply put your money into banks and post offices. At least their money will be safe. And one more thing, Shetty sir, I keep telling in chartered accountant programs, kindly do a small thing for me. Shetty sir, are you there? Through you, I am requesting all the participants, particularly practicing chartered accountants, I will request one thing. Kindly do a very small thing. Next one onwards, the person who, the individuals who are working for you, your clerk, your secretary, your lot of people are working, your peon, kindly, and you are definitely giving increment to them every year. Next year, just an experiment, do one small thing. Suppose you are giving them 1,000 increment every year. Don't give them 1,000, only give 500. Request them to open a SIP of 500 rupees for his children, for his girl, for his daughter, for his son. After 15, 20 years, sir, he will realize what Shetty sir had told him. Today he might get annoyed. Shetty sir is not giving me proper increment. He was unnecessarily putting my money into some SIP which I don't know. Why he not giving full increment to me? But sir, down the line after 15, 20 years, he or she will realize that Shetty sir was absolutely right. You are thinking not of him, but of his family as well. That is a small thing we can do. And last thing, sir, I keep telling, of course, not to chartered accountants, you are already senior persons, but in general session, I keep telling, prosperity is my right. Every participant, I keep telling, prosperity is my right. I might have born into a poor family. That is sheer incident. Incidentally, I might have born into poor family, but to live as a poor and to die as a poor is a curse, which we can simply avoid by focusing on regular investment right from the beginning of a career, keeping an eye on the investment, keeping an eye on the real return, creating wealth, and we all can be prosper. This is the basic mantra we all should learn. And again, I tell you, India is going into very, very golden period next 25, 30 years. So my dear chartered accountants, last thing, particularly young chartered accountants, sir, I tell you, there are plenty of career opportunities in security market as well as for your young chartered accountants. Plenty of opportunities. You might even not be thinking what fund manager is earning. Crores of rupees every year. Very huge package. This is one of them only.
Not that, say, there are a few lakhs investors, and the investment advisory service also requires huge people.
Absolutely.
I think just one available for 76,000 investors as of now. Just
Sir,
one advisor is available for 76,000 investors, which is too small. And the investor community is growing very, very fast. So I think good number of investment advisor, genuinely advisor who really understand the market like you. So they need to be there. I think that there is a good number of chartered accountant may go into that line. That is
sir, definitely.
because experts service is required, expertise service is required.
Sir, that is called financial advisors.
Advisor, yes.
And SEBI had developed a special category of financial advisors. But one thing is there in our society, sir. Society, sir, you might be agree with me. People don't want to pay. To advisor,
So
people don't want
that
to.
slowly, by this kind of education will change that category. So far what happened, no, all these years, there are not trained advisors, only like these insurance agents without any knowledge, they sell the insurance because that is what they call themselves advisors. Now things are changing.
Yes,
So
sir.
this investor advisory service or investment awareness programs definitely creates a new class of investors. Such investors definitely will ready to pay the fees because nothing comes free. They understand that.
Absolutely. And sir, one more thing I tell you. Yes, you have touched a very important point. Financial advisor is a must. I I I emphasize on the need of having a financial advisor. Definitely. Because financial advisor is just like a homeopath doctor. He will sit with you, with your family members. He will first listen to you for next 2 hours. What is your family background? What is your income? All these things, what you want to do in life. Then he will start prescribing you what to do, where to invest, how to invest, in which product you have to invest. So you are absolutely right. Financial advisor is going to be one of the most important profession in the next 10-15 years down the line, after 10-15-20 years. And those young chartered accountants who are aspiring can think of
Great
going for
opportunity, great opportunity. Good
great
number of
opportunity.
chartered accountant come into that line.
Absolutely. And sir, one more related information I can give to all of you. SEBI has started an institute that is called NISM, National Institute of Security Market. And SEBI has invested more than 400 crore rupees, sir, in that investment. And that is going to be one of the biggest security market training institute across globe.
Oh, great.
Across globe. And I invite all your chartered accountants, kindly visit the website of NISM.
NISM.
NISM, National Institute of Security Market. There are hundreds of online and offline courses which are available, short-term courses, mid-term courses, and long-term courses, regular courses also. Kindly select the course which you feel that will be you want to make career of it, and kindly go for that courses. If you want to interested, go into the security market, because that institute has been given the task of developing a professional force for managing security market as such. So
that is the need of the hour. When the investors numbers are going up, a proper advisor or investment advisor expertise is required. I think SEBI is doing a fantastic job of creating that NISM. Definitely it will
yes,
help. Definitely it will help.
definitely, madam, NISM is going to be one of the just at the level of IIM or IITs and IIMs next
Oh,
5 years.
fantastic, fantastic.
And they have already applied for a state university to the Maharashtra government, and that recognition is under process in Maharashtra government, and they are going to be just equal to IITs, IIMs next 5-10 years. So, and that is your chartered accountants can make a career in security market. Job satisfaction, career progression, both, and plus rewarding, of course, rewarding, much rewarding.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, sir. I would be very happy to have more and more questions from the participants now. But before that, I would request you to kindly give observation about the session.
No, it is fantastic. I think it's an eye opener, and so many new information you passed on, particularly this weekly SIPs and this NISM is real good information. And definitely it will help a good number of, definitely in future the number of CAs are coming out is slowly increasing. So when these are all the new areas, they have to specialize, and the opportunity will be more, and job satisfaction, not only job satisfaction, equally good remuneration or the rewarding one will going to happen. I think it's a fantastic session we had, Mr. Sharma. I think not many questions available online as of now. So
Anybody can raise hand and ask the question directly if they have in mind.
Yes, that option will give. If anyone wants to ask question, participants, please raise your hand and we will allow you to speak. Please raise your hand. We will allow you to speak so that we can make it interactive. Any participants, please participate in the discussion. It will beneficial to all the participants if you ask any questions. Yes, coming to, I have few questions. Coming to
Sir,
this
yeah.
asset management companies, is there any new guidelines is coming for the asset management companies by SEBI is planning anything
With which regard, sir?
regarding their commission, their remuneration, their charges, their admin cost, all those things?
Absolutely, sir. SEBI, it is basically a regular process.
Yeah.
It is when it started, SEBI was little bit flexible, but now the corpus has become enormous. That is why SEBI is gradually decreasing the commission, or basically that is not commission, that is expense ratio. Expenses they are allowed to manage the schemes. And sir, you will agree with me, there are two categories of schemes broadly. One is passive schemes, other is active scheme. In passive scheme, they simply put the money and forget. And whatever return comes in, they will give it to the investors. In passive schemes, the expense ratio is much lesser. In active scheme, they have to
Churn out every now and then.
every day in, day out, and they have to get a good research team as well. Big, huge research team. Majority of the big fund houses now have got big research team. They will supplement the decision making in investment by the fund manager. So in active funds, the expense ratio is relatively higher. But one more thing I want to tell you, sir, because of competition among the mutual funds, the expense ratio is also gradually coming down. Because suppose your expense ratio is 2.5% and other expense ratio is 2%, naturally the investor will get 0.5% extra return from that scheme which have got lower expense ratio. So because of this competition, automatically expense ratio is also coming down. So that is a healthy competition, and investor is the beneficiary.
No. Nowadays, this asset management company shares are going down. Is there any specific reason connected to this? The charges SEBI is reducing or restricting the admin expenses, anything like that?
It may be one of the reasons. It may, but
Maybe.
that is an intervening period only, because it is basically SEBI sees from regulatory perspective. Honestly, SEBI is here to protect the investors of interest and not to serve the interest of the AMCs. There are a lot of things which AMC keep raising with the SEBI, but SEBI knows it very well that it is not in the interest of investors. That is why SEBI don't give heed to them. It is a process. And one more thing, sir, I want to tell you out of context, of course. SEBI regulations, or for that matter, SEBI decisions are through consultative process only.
Okay.
It is a consultative process.
Consultative process. They understand the requirement of expenses, all those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So they will restrict. Yes, this can be your cushion. This can be the expenses.
Absolutely, sir. And typically what happens?
Asset management company also, that also needs to be survive long, and they have to create.
Naturally.
They are the market players. So they need to be there. Their existence is a requirement.
Yes. And honestly speaking, they are there to make money. Very honestly speaking. Yes. They are there. But at the same time, one thing I wish to mention here, that we're talking about the consultation process. SEBI has got permanent committees, primary market committee, secondary market committee, mutual fund committees, wherein experts of that domain, SEBI do keep inviting on regular basis. That consultation is exhaustive consultations takes place. Then after that, that committee gives recommendation to SEBI. Then SEBI implements those decisions after taking their board approval. So this is basically, outsider don't understand. SEBI took that decision. SEBI took why SEBI didn't take any decision in haste. It is a process, and that too, it is a consultative process. SEBI get the feedback from the market players itself, then judge and analyze the importance or the rationale for taking a decision, and the decisions are taken.
Yeah, fantastic. So there is a question from Mr. Mayur Guttalu. He is asking, in order to become advisor, you mean I think financial advisor, is there any exam to be passed?
Yeah, definitely. And that's why I'm telling you, kindly visit the website of NISM.
NISM, yes.
NISM.
Yes, that is the answer, Mr. Mayur. Please visit NISM, National Institute of Security Management is the full form.
National Institute of Securities Market.
Securities Market. NISM, National Institute of Securities Market website. Please visit. There you get all the information regarding exam, all those things. As a practicing chartered accountant, I don't think you can continue with the certificate of practice. You have to come out from that and you can take up this advisory services as a separate. As I initially mentioned, it is a full-time job. It requires expertise and
actually, sir, ISI is in touch with SEBI, checking out lot of careers for the chartered accountants even.
Yeah, definitely. See, I have one question from Venugopal C. Is it worth leave MF SIP, mutual fund SIP, without withdrawing and stop SIP in case specific fund and continue SIP in other fund?
Yeah, definitely you can. At any time you can do it. Suppose you say that you have developed a corpus of 10 lakhs rupees and you are not satisfied with the overall performance. Other funds are performing very well. What you can do, you just stop SIP, start new SIP with a new fund. But that corpus will continue to get the return.
No, his question continues like this. Will SIP fund balance? What you said is 10 lakh is their balance. He discontinued the SIP and balance is there. Will grow at same rate even after stopping SIP.
Yeah, definitely. Because till today, you have already accumulated 10 lakhs rupees. So you have invested in that scheme 10 lakh rupees. That's all. In future, 10 lakh rupees will earn what that scheme will earn. Because you stop SIP. Because there is a possibility that if you continue with the SIP, your return might be relatively higher. But since you have stopped it, the benchmark return of that scheme will accrue to you.
Yeah. Yes, he thanked you. His good appreciation from him.
Thank you, my dear.
Any other questions, participants? Please post your question quickly. Otherwise, we are going to wind up the session. Please post your question quickly. Coming to one more question from my side, sir.
Yes, sir.
This debt mutual funds, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mutual funds on debt instruments. So how exactly the expenses and all, what percentage they charge?
1% only. So actually, debt funds have got literally passive funds, indirectly speaking. So their expense ratio is relatively much lower as compared to equity funds.
Okay.
And the cap, SEBI has given, sir, there are two aspects I just mentioned. One is the SEBI mandate. That cap is, that expense ratio cap is 1%. You can't charge more than that. But even 1%, there are competition among the mutual fund companies. Suppose somebody is charging 0.75%, naturally more investors will go to them because return will be relatively higher as compared to the fund which is charging 1%. That is why, because of competitions, the expense ratio is gradually coming down. Apart from mandate of SEBI.
So this normal funds, some funds are not charging at the time of entry, only charge at the time of exit.
No, sir. That concept is now almost gone. No exit load, no entry load. Earlier there was a norm. For every entry you will get some entry load will be there. Then some exit. Now exit load there in almost all the schemes, entry load is not there.
Yeah.
As far as exit load is concerned, SEBI had prescribed exit load only in some schemes where you withdraw money very soon when you after investing. But if you are investing more than a year, there is no exit load even.
No exit load.
No. Earlier there was a norm that for every scheme entry load was there. They were deducting some entry load. Then after that exit load was there. But of late, entry load has literally gone. Even
Okay.
exit load has become very limited, and only to discourage investors not to withdraw so early from the scheme. That's the only
Okay.
purpose.
If more than 1 year, then they don't do that exit load.
No.
Okay. Then what about monthly charges for these active schemes?
There are no monthly charges, sir. There are no as such
monthly
monthly charges. No monthly charges are there. No.
Okay.
It will be charged on annual basis.
Okay. What is the annual charges normally?
It depends. It depends upon scheme to scheme, year to year.
Okay.
Because suppose the corpus become very high.
But SEBI says the maximum. This can be the maximum.
Exactly. SEBI simply had prescribed a cap. Cap means maximum. But I again repeat it, because of competition, cap is a cap only. In the sense that
charge much lower than that.
Exactly. Because of competition. That is why of late mutual funds are focusing on in decreasing their expenses. Because
But they have to maintain a big team of researchers and many other. They have to have the access of the many information from various sources. All those costs, no?
for cost, but you will appreciate that nowadays a good number of schemes are having 10,000 crore plus.
Yeah, their size is big. Yeah, even the small percentage makes the money for them. Okay.
You got it right. Because once your corpus is so huge, even a 1% make a substantial amount.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes. Yes. Today we covered only mutual fund and other things. What all the other areas can be done in this investment awareness program, sir?
Sir, we can actually, of course, that may not be appropriate for chartered accountant, but in my general investor awareness program with education institutions and government departments, I talk about the mutual fund hardly for 10-12 minutes. Because then I start about the importance of savings. I start about the importance of savings and the conversion of savings into investment. What is risk management? What is the risk? How we can manage your risk? Then what is financial plan? Then what are the options available for the middle class, salary class person for investment? That I include governmental scheme, then property, then gold, then security market, then commodity market. Then that flow is there. So my session is normally of 2 hours.
Okay.
But today I was just given the task of talking only on mutual funds. That is I talk about the mutual funds.
No, we can, if you have some other information, today's session also is 2 hours. We have another half an hour. If you have something else, you can please go ahead, because the session today is 2 hours, sir.
No, sir, no problem. Then I will talk general things about investment.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir. Because I don't want to wind up because the information what we are getting from an expert, I don't want to leave you for another half an hour. Please, whatever the best possible, because participants are definitely will be benefited from this.
Sir, I start my session with a very simple question to the participants. What money gives us? I keep telling them money gives us 2 things in our life. First is security and second is prosperity. But security comes only when we have plenty of money. And unfortunately, most of the middle class, salary class person don't have plenty of money. They do have reasonable of money, but they don't have plenty of money. That is why how we can have security. Then I keep telling them, kindly do these 3 things in your life at the start of your career. First thing is, kindly have adequate life insurance cover. Have life insurance cover, but underlining word is adequate. Because typically what happens, Shashiti sir, people do take life insurance cover, but life insurance covers is hardly 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs. That is not going to serve the purpose of life insurance cover is taken. What for we take life insurance cover, sir? Sir, simply speaking, I am assuring my family that in case I am not available to them tomorrow, at least they will get a reasonable amount which they can put somewhere, deposit somewhere, get some regular income. They can take care of their monthly expenses, education of the children, and other family obligations. That is why life insurance cover has to be adequate. And what is the thumb rule of adequacy is it should be minimum 20 times or minimum 10 times of your annual income. Minimum. Suppose you are earning 20 lakh, that it should be minimum 2 crore rupees, not less than that. Because that only amount will going to serve the purpose for which life insurance cover is taken. And in our time, Shetty Saab, you might remember there are only two types of mutual fund insurance products are available, and agent will come to us, money back or endowment. They were truly speaking not insurance products, very, very honestly speaking. But of course, there were no options. We were taking it because. But nowadays, for young investors, a very good insurance product is available. That is term insurance. Very good product. At a very, very, very small amount, you can take a huge insurance cover. A person of the age of 30 years can take a life insurance cover of 1 crore rupees through term insurance by paying a monthly premium of hardly 600 rupees or 700 rupees, which anybody can afford. That is why I keep telling in my session, kindly take adequate life insurance cover. And again, keep telling, emphasizing there, take it early, because if you defer it, premium will keep increasing every year. So kindly don't defer that. And nowadays, top-up facility in insurance policy is also available, sir. You might be aware. Suppose today you take 1 crore, down the line after 5 years, you can top it up to 2 crore rupees because your income increases. You think that 1 crore is nothing. Because I just give you my example, Shetty sir. Before 35 years back, I took a LIC policy of 1 lakh rupees. Agent came to me. I just started my career. I was knowing nothing. He gave me a dream. Sir, if you die, your family will get 1 lakh plus rupees. And if you don't die after 30 years, you will get 3 lakhs rupees. And honestly speaking, I couldn't sleep that night. 3 lakh rupees at that time. But in actuality, when I get after 30 years, I laughed at me. What nonsense I had done. That is why I keep telling insurance, term insurance. Adequate insurance, early you take, lesser will be the premium. Second thing I keep telling in my all sessions are, always take adequate health insurance cover. That is a must. And life insurance cover, health, of course, you know all very well. But I keep telling, emphasizing there, life insurance cover is totally different than that of health insurance cover. Life insurance cover, you are mentally securing your family that in case of my absence, at least they will get this money. They can at least manage their affairs. But in health insurance, if any emergency happens to me or any member of my family, we can go and take treatment in the best private hospital, come home recovered without paying a single penny. If our health insurance cover has taken from a good insurance company. And nowadays a very good health insurance policy is available, sir. That is called floater policy, FLOATR, floater policy. It is also called umbrella policy. In umbrella policy, floater policy, in one singular policy, all members of the family are covered, including your parents if you wish to include them. And if any medical emergency happens with any member of the family, he or she can go to the best hospital, get treatment, come home without paying anything. That is why adequate life insurance, health insurance cover. And again, adequacy simply means if you are in metro like Bangalore, you must take not less than 25-30 lakhs for the whole family. And if you are in 2-tier, 3-tier cities, then you can have 15 or 20 lakhs. And here again, sir, early you take, lesser will be the premium. And third thing, Shetty sir, I keep telling, this pandemic has taught us thousands of lessons, and the most important lesson is every family must have an emergency fund of around 5 to 7 lakhs. Because Shetty sir, you are professional, but you must have experienced that lakhs of people had lost their job. Lakhs of people had got substantial reduction in their salaries and income. businesses were closed, professions were closed, and people have passed through a very, very tough time, and not in thousands, or in lakhs, or rather crores. And this pandemic may recur again. New virus may come. Any emergency may come in our family. That is why for that, I keep telling every family must have an emergency fund of around 5 to 7 lakhs. And that emergency fund, truly emergency fund, means we will never touch that fund for anything else except emergencies. Of course, 5-7 lakhs is not a small amount for the middle class, salary class person, which they can accumulate over a period of time. But once it is there, put it in some bank FD. Don't put it at home in currency form. Put it in some bank FD. At least that is liquid, and you might be getting reasonable return. Rather less than reasonable, but money will be liquid. So in case of any emergency, you can withdraw it and use that for emergency. That promise and commitment we have to do. So these three things I keep telling at the start of my session as far as security is concerned. Then I take up the prosperity part. Prosperity comes second, security comes first. Because as per human nature, we first go for security only. That is why security comes first. Then prosperity. And for prosperity, I telling that for the middle class, salary class person, and particularly with Indians, we have a unique habit, sir. We don't spend it all what we earn like Europeans and Americans. It is in our blood. It is in our DNA. Even a person who is earning 10,000 rupees will definitely and surely try to take away 500 rupees or 700 rupees out of their income. And the money which we don't spend, we generally call it savings. So saving, we are all savers. But two things I keep telling my participants. Kindly identify an amount of saving which you can comfortably save. And that I leave it to you. I'm not saying I'm not prescribing anything. 20%, 30%, 40%. Generally people do is prescribe it. But suppose you say that your salary is 40,000 and your expenses are 50,000, your expenses are 40,000, and you are saying that you can save 10,000, then my request is very simple but emphatic. Kindly upfront save 10,000 every month without fail. That promise and commitment has to be with us. It is a must. Because this is the first foundation pillar of your prosperity. So kindly identify an amount of saving and religiously do that saving every month. Then second thing is kindly keep increasing your savings minimum by 10%. That is again possible. Because if you are in job, in income, you get increment, you get some DNS allowance, your income keep increasing. Even profession's income keep increasing. With the increase in income, you must increase your savings as well. Broadly speaking, it should be not less than 10% every year. Multiplying effect means this year you are saving 10,000, next year it should be 11,000, third year it should be 12,100. Try, you should sincerely try for that. Then I keep telling them what to do with the savings we are making. We must put our savings into two modes. Number one, acquisition of some assets value which will increase in future. Or number two, in some financial instrument which will give us regular or periodical return after some time. And the process of putting our savings into some assets or in some financial instrument, sir, we call it investments. And we are all investors. Whoever is earning is investor, because we are putting our money one way or other, we are putting our money somewhere. But unfortunately, Shetty sir, you will agree with me, most of the middle class, salary class person particularly are sheer money accumulators throughout their life. They don't become wealth creators. They just remain money accumulators. And top of it, they don't accept it. No, Baba, no, I am not money accumulator. My colleague might be, I am not money accumulator. I am the wealth creator. But the hard fact of the middle class, salary class person is, most of them are sheer money accumulators. Why? One reason is there, sir. And the reason is not outside anywhere. It lies in our mind. Most of the middle class, salary class person don't want to take any risk. No, Baba, no. Don't talk about risk. Risk की बात हमसे मत करो भाई. हम risk नहीं लेंगे. People are so adamant and so clear about it. Then I tell them very clearly, if you don't want to take risk, then forget about prosperity. You will always be hand to mouth as far as money is concerned. Because, sir, you know, wealth creation is the only way for prosperity. And how we can create wealth? By having some real return on our investments. Because you are putting your money into some instrument which are giving you nothing but not beating even inflation or some tax liability, then you are share money accumulators. And most of us like this only. Majority of people is still putting their money in bank FDs only. I'm not discouraging anybody, but the fact of the life is bank FD is giving you 6% return. Inflation rate is 7%. You are losing your money every year.
No, bank FD is nowadays not 6%, sir. On 6%, another 33% goes as tax. So effectively, even I think 6% is not there nowadays. It's 5.5.
So,
out of that, 33% goes means effectively he gets 3.5% or 4%.
That is why.
So it is not beating the inflation. Inflation is currently 4.5 or 5%.
That's why I'm.
In fact, year after year, his money goes down.
Down. That's why I keep telling two factors. One is inflation. Second one is tax liability on your return.
Yeah. And one more blunder nowadays youngsters do is, I think maybe from their elders' advice, as soon as they join employment, instead of investing and creating asset, they go for housing loan. There is a major EMI goes. House they purchase of more than their capacity and pay the EMI, which is the interest part itself is more than the rent.
Absolutely. And sir,
Okay.
now,
So instead of earning some money and later invest, so they invest on a housing loan immediately. That itself is they think is a big investment and accumulation of wealth.
yes, definitely. But
Yeah.
nowadays, a good number of people started thinking that why we should own a house, why we should have a
That is not required actually.
Yes, that is not required because you are putting crores of rupees, 1 crore in Bangalore or in Delhi or in Mumbai.
No, you get a house for 25,000-30,000 rent. So
Absolutely.
EMI with interest goes a lakh of rupees per month.
Yes.
So in that interest portion itself around 80,000. It means month after month he pays 50,000 extra for the same comfort. So the appreciation of the property if may not be corresponding that interest.
At least in future, because the present dispensation government is very clear, just to tackle black money. Because honestly speaking, sir, property was booming because of black money component only. Very honestly, we all know it very well. That is diminishing day by day in the property business. That is why the prices are not increasing. Prices, literally, there is no appreciation for last 5-6 years.
Yeah, that's what is happening. So particularly this middle class people go for that, and they are not able to create any other asset as such. This house may not be asset. In fact, asset should earn something.
Absolutely.
Whereas self-occupied house is not earning anything, and in fact, year after year they have to spend.
They have to spend, and moreover, sir, maintaining cost is increasing like anything.
Like anything, even corporation tax and so many other things.
So many other things.
So unless you have sufficient fund of your own, going for own house may not be advisable as of now.
Yes. Today, yes, this proposition is gaining momentum among young investors now.
Yeah.
Why we should take a flat of 1 crore rupees or 1.5 crore rupees, paying EMI of more than a lakh for 20 years, 25 years. Yes, you are absolutely right.
See, if he invests same money for 10 years, he can purchase a house without any loan.
Without any, absolutely. Without loan. Because down the line, suppose if we invest that money in mutual fund or in security market for 20 years, 25 years, that can make a big difference. Whatever you have appreciation, because whatever appreciation of your own house is, what is the meaning for you, sir? Suppose my house become 5 crore now. In most of the cases, I will not leave that house if I have purchased on my own. Mostly speaking. then what is the interest? What is the? It is just notional value for me. The realizable value is not there. So you are absolutely right. Lot of things are coming in between, and now I don't know whether youngsters will agree with us or not, but of late people have started investing in good products, and and now insurance has become, people understood that it is not an investment. It is not an investment. It is a must, more necessary than investment. But better you go for the term insurance. Simply, you can have a life insurance cover of 2-3 crore rupees that is required by paying hardly a premium of 2,000 rupees or so. And nowadays, sir, life insurance cover not available in our times can be extended beyond 85, 90 years even. And one more thing, one new feature has been added, you might be aware. You pay premium for next 10 years, 12 years or 15 years, that's all. But insurance cover will remain for next 50 years or 55 years even. So you are earning well today, you pay the next 10 years of a little bit, of course, a little bit high amount, but after 12 years, you are mentally that burden is off now, but your insurance is covered for next 50-60 years. So that is also a new feature added to the insurance. Lot of things are happening in financial sector as well. So we can do then risk. Then I talk about risk management, and for risk manager I simply tell them a very simple formula: सोच कर समझ कर निवेश कर. Think, understand and invest.
Yeah.
Think two things about yourself. First is your risk appetite, and second is your time horizon of investment. And then understand the product. What is the risk appetite with them? Whether risk inbuilt in the product is commensurate with your risk appetite. If product is very good, but suppose the product has high risk and your risk capacity is lower, then product is not good for you. The same thing goes where you are younger, you want to take high risk, and product by nature is conservative, have lower risk. Why you should go for it? Go for the product which has a probability will give you higher return. Then I keep telling two things, and lastly, then I talk about the financial plan. Every family must have financial plan, Shetty sir. I keep emphasizing here. And financial plan is not a rocket science. It is not simply, I just ask my participants, just next Sunday you sit with your family, have a pen and pencil with you, make 3 columns on the paper. In the first column, just put the milestones which are likely to happen in your life. You decide after consultation with family. And what are the common milestones for all of us, sir? Marriage, birth of the children, celebration, and admission of children in good public school, then purchase of a house, purchase of the vehicle. Vacation has also become a milestone nowadays. Shetty sir, you will agree with me. Every family now definitely wants to go on vacations, maybe domestic or maybe international even. For that, you can plan. Then higher education of the children is one of the most important milestone in your life. Then marriage of the children, and last one is retirement plan. And then I keep telling, kindly note down the milestone in first column. In the second column, you just put when it is likely to happen, period. 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year. And in the last column, put the money you will need for each milestone. And in the last, I tell 2-3 examples regarding marriage of children and a retirement plan. And then last, I tell them, make a total of the last column. And people get surprised, sir. A normal middle class, salary class person who is 30 today will need around 10 to 12 crore rupees in his or her life for milestones only. From where that money will come. That is why then I keep saying, kindly have a financial plan of your family. Draw your, then purpose is very distinct now. You know what money you will need at what time. Financial plan will give you a purpose of saving and investment. This is the way I keep taking my session for the general middle class persons. And lastly, I touch upon governmental scheme. Then I also emphasizing all investors must have a PPF account. It's a very good scheme, public provident fund. Very good scheme for the governmental salary class person, because it is still is giving 7.1% compounding every year. Maximum 15 years, minimum 1.50 lakhs, minimum 500 rupees scheme for 15 years, but can be extended for another 5 years, another 5 years, another 5 years. Then I keep telling about National Saving Scheme, Kisan Vikas Patra, Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. Then governmental securities, RBI has just started a RBI Retail Central. A new portal is started by the government of India for investment by the middle class person in governmental securities. Now you can invest a very small amount in governmental security by that portal. Then RBI also keep issuing bonds and debentures, bonds to the public, tax-free and taxable bonds. Then I keep telling about the public sector bonds, Bharat bonds, public sector bonds. Public sector undertaking also keep raising loan from the public. And that's the governmental scheme. Then I come upon property, then gold, then security market, then commodity market. So this is the flow of my normal investor awareness session.
Fantastic, sir. I think we had a fabulous session. So definitely enriched all our members, and we are recording this session, and it will be there in the YouTube. So our sessions, Bangalore branch sessions across India and even abroad, people watch, because every session we record and put it in the YouTube, and it is available in our website. People keep on watching, and it will run across India and even abroad. People watch our programs, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is the good thing. We recorded this, and it will be available everywhere. So fantastic. We had a fabulous session. On behalf of Bangalore branch and on behalf of all the participants, our wholehearted thanks to Mr. Sharma. Thank you very much.
I'm thankful to you, and I will be very happy to be with you physically also when this pandemic goes.
Definitely, when the pandemic goes, definitely we'll invite you. We'll meet. We'll have further sessions on
Further
this.
sessions.
It is
Thank you.
it is required regularly, in fact. So then we'll have it, sir. Thank you very much for your participation.
God bless you all. God bless you all, sir.
Thank you. Participants, you are the reason for this program. Your interest, your eagerness to learn all these new things. So that made us to organize this program. Thank you very much for your active participation. Please visit bangaloreici.org for all our future programs. Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you.